There are times when you suggest something to somebody and you're like, hey, you should read this, you should watch this, but this is not one of those videos because you need and you must watch this. In any case, I hope that my glasses are not such a bother to you today because I don't feel comfortable enough without them right now. Today we're going to be talking about a beautiful story that I really can't seem to get out of my head. This story has a lot of names because it's made into a live action show, it's also made into an anime, a manga, and so you have, first of all, you have many formats to watch it in. Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, that's the name of the novel, which I have read. Then it's called The Untamed as a live action series. And then it also goes by the name, the founder of Diabolism. And shut up. And its Chinese name, which is Modao Zhuxi. I hope I'm not butchering that, but I think that's the way you should pronounce it, Modao Zhuxi. In any case, you get it. As you understand, this is a Chinese story. It was firstly a novel and then it was adapted into an anime, manga, and a drama with actors. So I myself have read the novel and seen the entire TV show. I can only tell you my opinion when it comes to these two and the story in general, because I don't think that it really I don't think that the story really differs when it comes to the anime. The manhwa, I've been taking a few pics at. It's really close to the novel, like it's almost the exact thing with the novel. So in any case, we're all talking about the same story in all of these formats. So I'm here to tell you and explain the plot. Our protagonist, our main character, is a guy named Wei Wuxian or Wei Ying. He has two names, don't ask me why. This guy is a cultivator, and basically what cultivators are in this world is, oh, by the way, it's set in ancient China, so that is awesome in my opinion. So cultivators are basically like guardians that use magical arts to protect people from spirits and dark energy or ghouls and that sort of thing. So Wei Ying is a cultivator that ends up following a dark path and basically using dark magic. In the end, the dark magic leads to his downfall and he dies. 13 years later, or 16 years later in the show, he comes back. Now that he's basically reincarnated, he tries to avoid the people that knew him back when he was alive in his first life, and so he can stay safe, because if they find him and see that he's alive again, they're gonna want to kill him again. So he does try to avoid them, but he doesn't really succeed, and he meets the people that were really close to him back when he was alive in his first life. And for example, his brother and a guy named Lan Zhan, who is a very elite cultivator, let's say. He's like one of the most famous cultivators in Asian China. A mystery starts and Wei Ying has to partner up with Lan Zhan to face this mystery and also try to keep himself alive in this new life that he's given. So I'm not gonna say anything else, but there are many revelations that have to do with his first life, with Lan Zhan, and it's really beautiful. Stories like this that make me really cry my eyes out are very rare to me. It has only ever happened with Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and City of Heavenly Fire, again by Cassandra Clare. I really felt emotional reading her books, so it's really insane to me that out of the blue I found this story that made me feel so many things, and I took so many things from. If you haven't read or approached Asian culture ever in your life, I think that this is a very good opportunity for you to interact a little bit, start interacting with Asian culture or literature, or dramas. Like, for example, if you're not a person that really reads, or if you're not a person that would spend time reading a translated novel that's not really that well translated, it's not that well translated. If you don't want to spend time doing that, you can just watch the show. So I feel like it would be a great way for you to open your mind a little bit to the other side of the world. If you watch the show, it's so beautifully shot. Costumes, the cinematography, the acting, I feel like everything is so good. A lot of things are different from the book when it comes to the plot, because they had to make it a little bit different from the book because they had 50 episodes, I guess. But I like the way they changed some facts from the book, because it made it more multidimensional. Because, you know, in a show you don't have to always follow a character. Well, I guess that could go for the same way for a book, but the book was in his point of view only, so there was only so much you could learn about the world from one person's POV. So I like that thing about the show, that it has multiple different scenes within, among other characters that we didn't have in the novel, and I actually think it makes a lot of sense. The reason why I think that you should definitely watch the show and or read the book is because this is not just some common or random story. I believe that watching this show, we're really going to process a lot of messages. I believe that it's one of those stories that are food for thought, really makes you think about the world you're living in. I really am a sucker for stories that have the hero becoming the villain, and I think it is one of those stories because Wei Wuxian began as a very brave, a very good student for cultivation, a very talented man, and a very talented boy that everyone around him were like, you know, he's gonna be great someday, like he is going to be such a good cultivator and stuff like that. And then when he approached dark magic, everyone suddenly took a 360 on him and didn't want to question why he did that. They didn't want answers. They just saw him as an enemy, and that was it. It shows you that people will follow other people's opinion because it's just easier that way. I think this is really valid when it comes to our society today. Like, governments can be so corrupted, people can be so corrupted, and if they see something as bad, people are going to follow them and they won't question if it's bad or good. People conform to others just so that they are safe or they don't have to deal with things. I love how it shows you that things are not black and white. Something is never inherently bad or inherently good, and I feel like that's such an important message and an important lesson to people. And it reminds me of the show named Merlin. I don't know if you ever watched it. It reminded me of Merlin because in that show, magic is supposed to be something really bad. And so people are just, you know, killed and executed if they use magic. And Merlin is someone that uses magic for good, but he never tells anyone about it, because just by learning that he's using magic, they will want to kill him. They don't care if he's using it for good. They just care that he's using magic. And I feel like this really stands for this story as well, because something like, for example, a knife, a sword, can be good if you use it to protect people, or it can be bad if you use it to kill people. It's the same with Wei Wuxian's situation. Did anyone ever even care about what he had to say? No. And even when he justified himself and it was very obvious that he was in the right, people didn't see that. People became blind and just listened to the leaders. Didn't care that he was telling them the truth and facts. So just because he was using dark magic, they wanted to eradicate him. I love that. I'm a very firm believer that there's not just black and white, there's not just bad and good. I really believe in the yin-yang philosophy, so I feel like that actually kind of depicts that. Now that I think about it, Wei Wuxian wears black. He has done things that have led to bad results, but he always did it with good intentions. On the other hand, Lan Zhan is dressed in white. He was like the best person of his family. He was the one that followed the rules by heart. Like, he never did a mistake, he never broke any rules. He was perfection incarnated. But then after he meets Wei Wuxian, he goes against those laws because he sees how wrong they can be, and he goes against them. So that could portray the bad in the yang. Isn't yang the white? They really depict yin and yang. Wei Wuxian and Lan Zhan. I also think that even though it's a story that shows a lot of corruption and cruelty, a lot of selfishness in people, and how even if you have such good intentions, you can become a target for everyone's vile goals. And among all those realistic things that could stand within our modern society, you also have hope, you also have a second chance, you also have happiness. You know, that's what I love the most about the story. So many bad things can happen to you, such tragic things can happen to you, but in the end you can still find love and you can still find happiness, because life is unpredictable and you can never expect what is going to happen tomorrow. You can never expect that how things are going to turn out. And it's so hopeful to me. Like, it feels like after everything you can become accepted, you can be loved, you can be happy. And I feel like we need more stories that are like this and teach people those sort of things, because we have so many young people being depressed, we have so many people being suicidal, we have bullying, we have hate, we have so much hate in our society. But you know, with stories like this, you learn that not all is lost, and you can fight all your demons and become a better person. Thank you for watching this video. Please tell me in the comments if you are going to check this story out. Please tell me if you agree with what I explained about this beautiful story, and if you've watched it. I will see you in the next video. Until then, please subscribe to my channel or like this video. I will very much appreciate it. Have a good day or a night wherever you are. Bye!